It's hard to watch something like The West Wing without sort of feeling a large amount of nostalgia for...
Sanity?
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Listen, The West Wing, we always understood it to be wish fulfillment. And I tend to write, no matter what, I tend to write very romantically, very idealistically, and with by and large in pop culture, at least in this country, in pop culture, our leaders, our elected leaders, have always been depicted either as Machiavellian or dolts. Okay, I'm a big fan of both House of Cards and Veep, but that's Machiavellian and dolts. Mm-hmm. All right, and I just that neither one of those are really my lane. Mm-hmm. And I thought, why not a show showing our leaders every bit as competent and dedicated as the doctors and nurses on hospital shows, as the cops on cop shows, as the lawyers on David Kelly shows, and that was that was the engine behind The West Wing. So it was always a bit of wish fulfillment. We don't need to get into the weeds. We know we're living in some unnerving times, especially this last week has been incredible, really incredible. I thought watching the last couple of minutes in the control room, watching CJ talk about how Bartlett is going to be directing the Attorney General to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate him. And he's making sure that this list is going to be made by 3 people who were appointed by Republican presidents. That he is he's doing it right. He's saying, I may have committed a crime. You need to investigate me fully. Go ahead. About what now feels like a relatively minor crime. How quaint. He had a disease that affects the central nervous system and didn't tell the voters about it. It seemed like a really big deal when I wrote it.
Could you write something like this today?
People have asked, what would The West Wing be like today? I like to think it would be exactly the same. I write very romantically and idealistically, but I feel romantic and idealistic about American institutions and about Americans. There was always an off-screen character in The West Wing, and it was the American voter that was always treated with respect. There was never a sense of, well, we can get one by them. They're idiots. They'll buy anything. Yeah. And so I think that our institutions are extraordinary. I think James Madison was an absolute genius. Our Constitution is an incredible document, but it is all incredibly user sensitive.